In the quiet heart of rural Ghana stood a small village known as Adomkram village. It was a place where life moved slowly. Roosters crowed before sunrise.
Subscribe.
Women carried baskets on their heads. Children ran barefoot along dusty roads. Everyone knew each other. And secrets rarely stayed hidden for long. But the greatest secret ever to touch that village was about to arrive. And it would begin with a poor girl named Akosua. Akosua lived in a small clay house with her widowed mother, Abina. Their house stood near the edge of the village, surrounded by cassava farms and tall palm trees. Life had never been easy for them. Since the death of Akosua's father, her mother struggled every day just to survive. Some nights they slept hungry. But Akosua never allowed poverty to break her spirit. Every morning before sunrise, she walked miles to fetch water from the village stream. Villagers admired her strength. But they also whispered about her beauty. Akosua had the kind of beauty that turned heads everywhere she went. Yet beauty did not fill an empty stomach. One evening, Abina sat outside their home staring into the fading sunset. Her heart was heavy. She knew something that Akosua didn't. Her debts in the village had grown too large. Soon, she would lose everything. Unless something changed. The next day, 3 respected elders arrived at their home. Among them was the village chief's advisor, Kwame Mensah. Their visit could only mean one thing. Serious business. After greeting Abina, Kwame cleared his throat. "We have come with a marriage proposal for your daughter." Akosua froze. Marriage? She had not even thought about it. The elders explained that a stranger living in the village had asked for Akosua's hand in marriage. His name was Kofi Owusu. He was poor, quiet, and lived alone in a small hut outside the village. No one knew much about him. But he had promised to take care of Akosua and her mother. To Abina, it sounded like a miracle. To Akosua, it sounded like a life she never chose. The next day Akosua met Kofi for the first time. He stood under a mango tree waiting. His clothes were simple. His sandals were worn. But his posture was calm and confident. When he looked at her, there was kindness in his eyes. Yet something about him felt different. Almost mysterious. Soon the entire village began talking. Some mocked the idea. 2 poor people marrying each other, they laughed. Others pitied Akosua. She deserved better. But the decision had already been made. The wedding was small and quiet. No grand celebration. No expensive gifts. Just a simple village ceremony. Akosua smiled politely. But inside her heart was filled with uncertainty. After the wedding, Akosua moved into Kofi's tiny wooden hut. The roof leaked during rain. Food was scarce. Yet Kofi never complained. And strangely, he always seemed calm. Almost as if poverty didn't bother him at all. Akosua began noticing unusual things about her husband. Sometimes he disappeared for hours. Sometimes he received phone calls and spoke in a language she couldn't understand. He carried himself like someone used to authority. Not like a poor villager. But she never asked questions. Far away in Accra, chaos was unfolding. Employees at a powerful investment company were panicking. Their billionaire CEO had disappeared months earlier. His name was Kofi Owusu. One of the richest men in West Africa. And no one knew where he had gone. For years, Kofi had lived among the elite. Luxury homes. Expensive parties. Beautiful women. But he discovered something painful. Many people loved his money. Not him. So one day he vanished. He decided to find someone who would love him when he had nothing. Living in the village was part of his plan. And marrying Akosua was the final test. Would she respect him despite poverty? Would she regret her decision? Every day he watched her carefully. Akosua worked tirelessly. She farmed. She cooked. She supported him even when money was tight. One night she said something that shocked him. "We may be poor, but we have peace." In that moment, Kofi realized something powerful. She truly meant it. Months later, something unusual happened. A convoy of luxury cars suddenly arrived in Adomkram village. Villagers gathered in confusion. Men in expensive suits stepped out. They were searching for someone. One of the men showed the villagers a photograph. "Have you seen this man?" Everyone gasped. Because the man in the photo looked exactly like Kofi. Inside their hut, Akosua stared at the photo. Her hands trembled. Her husband, the poor farmer, was actually a billionaire. That night Kofi finally told her everything. His companies, his wealth, his plan to test people's hearts. He had chosen her because she was genuine. Akosua listened quietly. Tears filled her eyes. The next morning, the convoy returned. This time Kofi stepped outside dressed in an expensive suit. Villagers watched in disbelief. The poor man they mocked was actually a billionaire. Soon after, Kofi moved Akosua and her mother to Accra. Their lives changed forever. Luxury homes, comfort, security. But Akosua never forgot the village that shaped her. Because sometimes, true love is not tested by wealth. It is tested by what people do when there is nothing. And the poor village girl who once struggled to survive became the queen of a billionaire's heart.